The chapter Microorganisms from grade 8. So firstly, what is or what are microorganisms? So just like the name, microorganisms. So organisms that are tiny living organisms that cannot be seen with the naked eyes because they're micro. Micro meaning really small. So, living or tiny living organisms which cannot be observed with the naked eye is known as a microorganism. What do you mean by a naked eye? Naked eye means with our own eyesight. We need external help such as microscopes. Next, let's look at the types of microorganisms. So, microorganisms are mainly of 5 types. Number 1, we have bacteria. This is well known and very common. Then fungi, again a common microorganism seen in bread, stale bread. Next is protozoa, and then algae found in very dirty rivers or lakes, and then viruses. So these are the 5 types of microorganisms. Whereas in all these 5, viruses are of a special type. Why? Because viruses can only reproduce inside a host cell or a living cell. Suppose this is a human. This is a human with hands and legs. Okay. A virus is non-living when it is outside and it is living when it is inside. That's why it is a special case of microorganisms, whereas this is non-living. This is external GK as well, an external point. Next, let's look at where do they live? Where do microorganisms be found mostly? Microorganisms are found everywhere, even on this paper, even inside this pen. Everywhere we'll see microorganisms. They are present in the air, in the water, soil, as well as inside our body. We know there are different types of bacteria inside in our body called as a good bacteria. So microorganisms are found everywhere in the world, even in hot volcanoes or even in the coldest regions like Antarctica and Arctic. They're found everywhere. Next, let's look at the advantages of microorganisms. Firstly, microorganisms help in food production. What do you mean? What do I mean by bacteria or the microorganisms can help in food production? For example, curd is made with the help of bacteria, and then bread is made with the help of yeast. Yeast and bacteria are microorganisms, thus they help in the food production. Now, the second advantages of microorganisms are they help in building up medicines. For example, penicillin. Penicillin was found by Alexander Fleming, and that was with the help of bacteria, a certain kind of bacteria. So they are used to make medicines or antibiotics. Now, third, they help in agriculture. Some types of microorganisms help in nitrogen fixation. This is an example. Next, fourth one is industries. How industries? For making example alcohol. Alcohol needs yeast, and yeast is a microorganism. Thus, these are the advantages of microorganisms. Now, if we see advantages, there should be disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of microorganisms? So let's see. Microorganisms causes diseases. Most of the diseases are caused by microorganisms. In humans, example are cholera, in animals, anthrax, in plants, crop diseases, etc. Now, second is food spoilage. This is very common in our household. If we keep bread past its expiry date, you can see green spots. Those are called fungi. Fungi growing on the bed. Thus, the disadvantages of microorganisms are that it leads to food spoilage. Next, how do you prevent all these diseases? There are certain steps that you can take to prevent all these microorganisms in harming us. For example, the first one, vaccination. If you take proper vaccination, the viruses cannot, harm you or destroy your cells. For example, smallpox. The vaccine for smallpox was found and given to us when we were a child itself so that we cannot catch smallpox. Next is personal hygiene. If you take really good care of your body, you would not or you will never get any diseases. Now, next is proper cooking. When food is cooked improperly, the bacteria and the viruses will not die in the food and they'll enter your body. If you properly cook your food, all the bacteria, the heat will kill all the bacteria and the viruses, and thus it will prevent diseases. And lastly, drinking clean water. Most of the diseases enter our body through dirty water. So if you drink clean water and if you properly cleanse water, most of the diseases can be prevented. Now, a very important subtopic in the disadvantages of microorganisms is seen in food spoilage. So we know food spoilage is very common in our households, but how do you prevent food spoilage? There are basically up to 4 to 5, good things that you can do to prevent food spoilage. So let's see all 5 of them. Number 1, refrigeration. You have seen your mothers or the people who cook food after a long time they'll keep it inside the refrigerators. Why? Because cold stops or slows down the bacteria or virus production help and thus preserving food. Then drying. Keeping wet or bacteria loves or microorganism loves very moist or wet regions and they multiply quickly. If you keep dry foods or if you make the wet foods dry, then food preservation is an option. Next is salting. They hate salt as well as sugaring. They hate too much sugar as well. Salting and sugaring are 2 main preservation ideas as well. And then finally, use of preservatives. Use of preservatives. These are the ways in which how you can preserve food, and this is really important for your exam, so make sure you know what all these are. This is the full chapter Microorganisms from grade 8. If this chapter helped you to understand this lesson completely, please like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.